show is here. It's about to kick off. The big push, of course, on EVs. But here's the thing. There's a real cost to EVs, and I'm not just talking about an economic cost. We've got the car coach, Lauren Fix, and she's in studio. Well, the car show is in town, folks, and it is electric. Manufacturers around the world tossing huge projections in terms of the numbers of EVs that they plan to put out in the next few years. But where will they get the materials for the batteries and these charging stations? I mean, is this realistic? Joining me now, the car coach, Lauren Fix. And Lauren, General Motors now saying they cut a deal with Glencore for cobalt. Obviously, that's just one of the metals that's needed. But these numbers that they're throwing out there seem far-fetched. Can they even remotely come close to hitting them?
Right, no, that's impossible. First off, the grid can't support it, but they're all asking for all this nickel, neodymium, which is the rarest of the rare earth minerals. And if you can't get it, how are you going to make it up? Now, yes, they're working on solid-state batteries. Some are working on lead-acid batteries. There's a lot of technology. But you got to start watching. If you're thinking about investing, start looking at some of these rare earth minerals, including lithium. And right now, there's one lithium mine that I believe is in North America. But the thing is,
can you invest in that?
You can invest. I believe the code, I think it's SLI.
Really?
Yeah. So, I mean, the thing is, they haven't done that well on the stock market. I invested a little bit.
I saw
myself.
rare, though, the other day. It's a ETF for rare minerals, rare earth minerals. Yeah. And that it was one of the best performing ETFs last week.
Right.
So, you know, because they're really not rare. Yeah. It's just, it's kind of dirty.
Limited.
Yeah, I mean, but we could get to them if we had the willpower to say, hey, let's do it.
Right, but then you're going to be strip mining. I mean, then again, is that environmentally friendly? And you and I have talked in the past about what they do to the earth in order to make one battery.
Let me share that with the audience, because I saw a tweet that said a single Tesla battery requires the extraction and processing, folks, get this, 500,000 pounds of materials. So at this rate, they say we've mined more ores than humans have over the last 70,000 years. Essentially, back to your point, Lauren, we would strip mine the planet. Hey, listen, you know, I don't try to cast aspersions, but I do think that this sort of uppity, I'm better than you attitude that a lot of EV drivers have, because I'm in a gas guzzler that only gets 12 miles to the gallon. We're drilling a hole. They're stripping the entire planet and going to places for cobalt that, you know, I don't know that you should feel so great about yourself.
Right, I agree with you. Now, where is there a lot of cobalt and rare earth minerals? Afghanistan. But we just gave that away. And countries like China come in and go, oh, we'll do a road and belt program. We'll put in all your roads and bridges, give you infrastructure. All we want is those rare earth minerals, and we'll hire all the Afghanis to do it. And who ends up owning it? China. Right. So we have to be careful of that. It's also some interesting technology coming out called e-gas. Now, this is originally developed by Porsche. Audi's been testing it since 2013, and they're working with Exxon and a couple other companies. That means your combustion vehicle that everybody still has, a lot of people still have, wouldn't have to get rid of it. You could use synthetic gasoline, because they make renewable products, but if it's synthetic, it's made with hydrogen, you could run it in your vehicle, and that would be really great. It would be less expensive.
When T. Boone Pickens wanted us to use natural gas, and I thought that was a brilliant idea.
I agree.
I think in hindsight, because of how clean it is, it was a huge mistake we didn't do it. Let me ask you about these chips.
Okay.
The chip shortage, it's amazing how much chips, just going to a regular car, forget about it, the ones that we need for EV, are we ever going to be able to catch up on this chip shortage?
Well, you know, I was saying 2022, but I've just talked to someone at Volkswagen in the corporate offices, and they're saying 2023. If that happens, it means the price of cars are crazy. Now, it's a supply and demand thing. So used cars got real expensive, and they've softened a little bit.
A little bit.
Down
3% yesterday.
Yeah, 3%.
But still 30% year over year. Yeah. And new cars still are going up.
Right, and you can't get them. So it's supply and demand. So as they make them as quick as they can, whenever they get chips. Now, yes, there will be factories that will start producing them, other resources, but we are far from through this chip shortage. Plus, we've got the Ukraine where they have wiring harnesses, neon for processing the microchips, and then we've got catalytic converters, palladium, platinum, that are coming out of Russia and the Ukraine. So all these factors are all coming together once, and supply chain issues.
By the way, 2 weeks ago, my wife, 3 weeks ago, she was looking at the local website. She's like, why are people stealing all these catalytic converters?
Because of the palladium and platinum. Also, there's people drilling holes in gas tanks.
Yeah.
So you got to be really careful these days, because that is very dangerous.
Lauren, great seeing you in studio.
Nice to see you
Have fun at the show.
I will.
I'm going to see if I can sneak over there.
It's worth it.
All right, cool.